Becoming Niguiri, see, becoming Niguiri, oh, see.
Bienvenidos de nuevo a
Welcome back to
Becoming
Becoming Niguiri with Ana
Raúl.
y
Rosie.
Welcome, Rosie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
first episode in English. Oh my god.
I'm shitting my pants.
I think there's a lot of nervous energy in this room right now.
Yeah, it's a mix.
How do you feel, Rosie?
Yeah, good. I'm ready.
Are you
I'm
nervous?
excited. No.
No, the nerves are
No.
going away.
Yeah, I'm just manifesting that they're not here. They are, but we just pretend they're not
We can
here.
just
They
do a little
go.
breathing exercise like
Yes.
Meditate.
Get
When
it
the nerve is
out.
out. Yes. And well, let's present yourself
Hello.
a little bit for our followers.
Yes, so let them know where you're from, your age, if you want to, occupation, hobbies, anything. A quick presentation.
Shall I do this in Spanish or
You could try.
in English?
Try, yes.
Bilingual audience.
Hola, mi nombre es Rosie. Tengo un 29 años.
Woohoo.
Sí.
See?
Perfect.
Well, I think so.
Sí. Vivo, soy poblano. What else was the question? Me gusta pintar, me gusta en la playa.
Perfect.
Perfect.
We could do the whole episode in Spanish.
This is
didn't
like
we?
my Spanish class. Like the last 4 months of Spanish have gotten me to here.
And how do you feel talking in Spanish?
Yeah, I find it really hard actually. So I feel you with speaking in a second language in a podcast. It is tough, but your English is definitely much better than my Spanish.
Let's see. Maybe not.
All I want to say is that is my every week, and I'm feeling a little bit smug right now, being the only one at the table on both sides.
You will be the funny.
Maybe
between each
I'll be
other.
funny.
The funny girl. Because
Funny.
The funny girl.
The funny girl, yes.
Maybe I'll be funnier this week. I don't know. I feel like it must be weird for our listeners to hear us in me in my actual normal English voice and you in English as well.
Yeah, it's
They've
like-
never heard us in English, so
No, my personality would change a bit or
Definitely.
I think
Definitely.
so.
Sense of humor changes.
Yes.
100%. Everyone always says that I'm more like bruta, like more, I don't know how to say that, like very
not. Very
to the point and like a bit more, less sweet in English.
Yeah.
So let's
see.
See.
I agree.
Yeah. So let's see how it goes. But we're so happy to have you.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you very much
awesome.
for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
And
today.
we should do a little.
Shall
Go
I say
on.
my occupation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of
go for
course.
it.
So we're going to be talking about it a lot today, but I'm a social media content creator. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
But we basically wanted to bring Rosie today for a few reasons. Firstly, because me and Rosie met via Instagram.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm pretty sure I slid into your DMs.
She slid into the DM.
and said, let's go for wine. I'm moving to Barcelona. And then that was it. We met up
Yeah.
in Gracia, didn't we?
We did.
And then we went for some natural wines,
And
which
cheese.
was gorgeous, but it's just not a thing at home for me. Like
No.
going for natural wine. I feel like in London and maybe Manchester, it is, or like a really fancy part of Winchester or something.
Yeah.
But growing up or living in Reading for the last however long and Basingstoke, the natural wine bars just rarely existed.
Yeah, it's much more of a thing. Like in my neighborhood, Gracia, like it's literally just all natural wine.
It's like a village.
But our neighborhood, sorry.
Our neighborhood, yes. Our neighborhood, our podcast.
The office studios.
Literally in my house. Yeah. But yes, and also because Rosie is a very big part of the body positivity movement online.
Oh, thank
And that
you.
is why I think I followed you first.
Really?
And then you followed me back and then you were like, okay, I think.
No way.
No? Was it not the other way around?
Henry, so my husband.
She's married.
Congrats.
Henry showed me your Instagram because he was obsessed with you speaking Spanish and also being like fully English. And with your Spanish accent, just the way that you speak Spanish is insane. I'm sure you hear this all the
Thank you.
time. So he showed me your page and then I followed you, but I can't remember. Maybe it did say
I think I
follow
followed
back.
you, or maybe on my other account I already
Yeah,
followed you
or
because
on,
I
like,
definitely
TikTok or
seen you
something.
before. and I love the content you post.
Oh,
So relatable, and it's like your page genuinely feels like a warm hug, like to go in.
Stop.
That is
That's
how
so
it feels, and I'm
nice.
sure other girls feel that way as well.
Oh my god, my heart.
But Rosie and Raúl have actually never met.
Until today.
Until today, but
right?
we've been following each other in social media because of
Yeah.
Anna. Because I knew about you from Anna, and maybe
I knew about you
yeah,
from
Anna.
Primera.
And we started following each other, but we meet today.
Yeah,
Yes,
how crazy.
Like 20 minutes ago.
I remember when I first followed you, you'd just been to like Forteventura together. Is that
We
right?
went
Or
to-
Lanzarote
yeah.
together.
Lanzarote.
Yeah, and I remember following you then and seeing all the pictures. I was like, this guy is so cool.
Because he takes the best pictures and I just steal them.
Yeah, you must do it on a
Thank you.
professional camera, right?
It's from my mom.
No,
But
that's
I want a new one for me, but it's a professional camera, and then in Lightroom I retouch like the lights, contrast, and that's it.
wow, that's amazing.
And then my brain does the picture, not the camera.
That's nice.
So let's start on that topic then about body positivity and how you started in the space there, because I know a lot about your background.
Yeah.
But when did you start talking about your body, like openly online? Was it something that you started out with, or something that kind of evolved over time?
Over time, yeah. It was definitely over time. When I first came online and I guess just started like exposing myself a little bit, like showing myself and opening up online, it was much more about, well, some could say the complete opposite. It was about weight loss at the beginning and like focusing on fitness. But I do really pride myself in that my like experience and journey and everything I was putting out there was always very sustainable and focusing on just loving your body for like the right reasons. And if you want to change it to make yourself stronger, to make yourself healthier, to make yourself happier. Even if it is aesthetic, make yourself happier. Don't try to like change yourself because you're trying to run away from something. And so that message was always really strong behind everything that I did. And about a year and a half to 2 years in, I really burnt out from talking about like calories and talking about actually losing weight. And it was something that I was past now in my personal life. Like that was kind of over and done for me. And it also got kind of boring because I was creating all this content around the fixation on like my body, whether it was about how strong I was or what I looked like, it was still my body. And I just kind of wanted to let that go. And I think as I gave myself permission to let that go from like a business perspective, like my career was on Instagram and the money I made was from brand deals with, right? So as that, all that was in the back of my mind, and I gave myself permission to just like let go of focusing on that, I started to just like create content so much more organically and so much more in tune with like my heart and where my mind was at the time. And I ended up just talking about like how much I love my body, how much I love the fact that I have rolls or I have cellulite, and I think I love it so much because I used to hate it. And then just talking about that relationship and how that evolved. And yeah, so it wasn't immediate, okay guys, I'm super body positive now, follow me. It was more of a natural thing like over time. But yeah, it was
That's
really
such a nice progression
yeah,
and story.
right?
You kind of went from like one extreme of like calorie counting and like weight loss all the way through to just like,
fuck it.
no, this is me. Like,
Yeah.
Am I allowed to swear?
No,
girl,
you can
you
use
could
it.
definitely swear.
No under 18s. Yeah, it was such like it was really lovely to be able to show that on social media and like showcase it, with it being such a natural progression for me already, rather than I feel like now on social media it's so easy to just kind of fall into trends. And I have definitely seen this with the body positive movement. Like a lot of people that I follow or started following when they were posting such body positive content, and now that, or when 75 hard was like the trending thing, suddenly they were jumping onto that. And then clean girl aesthetic was the thing, and suddenly that's what all their content's about. And I mean, I get it, like do your thing, do the rounds, like find what your niche is, or don't have a niche. But for me, it just felt like it was so in tune and aligned where I was personally that there has never been an expiry date on it. And it's been what, like I've been in the game for like 5 years, so it's been, I want to say like 3 to 4 years of posting quite body positive heavy, and I love it. And I feel like there are new ways every day or every week that it becomes relevant to me again, whether it's trying on wedding dresses last year or moving to a new city where I'm wearing a bikini every week. And I was probably wearing one once a month when I was living at home, like that kind of thing. Like it just stays with you. And I think it's just real, you know?
And before you were doing this online, you were in a corporate job, right? So what has the transition been like? Obviously, it was now a long time ago, the last time you were working in like a corporate job. But what was it like going from like that routine of like, because me and Raúl both have...
We have like
unfortunately.
Office. Yes.
Yeah, you guys are like...
vibes. We're office baddies.
Like Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana.
Two lives.
But we still have that kind of routine to our day of like, okay, 9 to 5, we go to the office. And for me, it actually works quite well because of my personality. I like having the routine
and the structure.
But like, how was that transition from 9 to 5 to like, I now have to manage my own?
And what was the click for, I have to start this?
Yeah, I've thought about this question so many times in my life. I have so much to say. So for me, there was no... Actually, the click for me when I was working at my old job. So I used to work in medical marketing and I used to travel all the time for my job. Like we go to Paris and we travel around Europe and we obviously travel around the UK and whatnot. But we just used to like, it was fun. Like we just used to be able to get out of the office quite a lot and go on site. And I was working in the urology field. And if anybody knows
PPs.
Urology.
PPs.
I don't know what it is.
Urologo.
Urologos. Oh, wow.
She was marketing PP medication.
Yes.
Literally catheters. And going from that into social media, I think for me there was I would say in perspective there was a fast change, like it kind of happened overnight, but for me it kind of happened within a year, 6 months to a year. I started social media in the 22nd of June 2020 and then by like May 9th.
So in COVID?
Yeah, during COVID. Right place, right time, like fully. And I hadn't tried to like push myself out there on social media before that. And since I was like 18, right? Like making little makeup YouTube videos or whatnot. But I hadn't tried to push myself out there. And then suddenly in COVID, I was at home all the time, working from home like everybody else. Yeah. And my work where I was in the medical industry, everything was put on pause because COVID was happening and we didn't know what was going to happen at the time. And it was such like a...
Nobody had pee problems anymore.
No.
They were just worried about COVID.
We didn't know as a business like where we needed to prioritize our research and our investments and the money. So the company kind of put everybody on pause and gave everybody like promotions, I guess, just to keep everybody happy. But was like, here's a pay rise, here's way less work. So I had so much more time. And now that I've not been there 5 years, I feel like it's a safe space to say. But I then used to like log onto my laptop at 9 a.m. in the morning, have a call and then be like, what the hell do I do all day? I didn't know what to do all day. So I started making recipe videos when I
for YouTube
started.
Or Instagram and TikTok?
Instagram and TikTok at the very start. And then within 6 months of doing that, it just blew up like straight away. Like within a week, I think I had like 1,000 followers on TikTok. And then within like a month or two, it was up to like 10,000 and it was just going up and up and up. And in those first 6 months, I had like 50K on Instagram and like 50K on TikTok or 100K on TikTok. And then my friend's husband reached out and was like, hey, I'm actually a manager. Can I manage you? And I was like, yeah, let's do this. And within like 3 months of working with him, I was able to go full time. And so it just kind of happened overnight in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is crazy.
It was like the destiny because of being like on our house in the pandemic situation.
Yeah.
You are like a pandemic influencer. Because
Yeah.
everyone, or not everyone, because if not, we were all influencers. A lot of them grew up in the pandemic.
Yeah, a lot of people grew up.
Because people had time and they were bored. Like they wanted to be creative, wanted
People
to feel
were bored.
connected.
I was
online.
depressed at the bed all the time.
Baby.
I wanted to go out.
Why didn't you post videos? Do you regret it now?
I was so ugly. I was at
We
bed
were
like,
all ugly in COVID.
yes,
Okay?
you were doing exams, studying my grade, and then like I didn't have like the strength for doing anything else.
Yeah.
It was
You were pre-glow up. You hadn't had your glow up then.
yes.
I get that. And then thinking about like the body image thing and like obviously being an image online for body positivity, do you ever feel the pressure to like always be happy with your image? Not even just with your image, just in general. Like, do you ever feel that pressure of like always being presented positively?
This is such a good question. I feel like yes and no. I think I definitely did for the first couple of years. And then the older I've gotten, and me being 29 now, now being 29, I feel like life has just been put back into perspective in a way. And my job and this being like creating content at full time, like isn't the focus of my life anymore. So where that's been decentralized, it's created the space for me to be able to just like accept when I'm gonna have days where I'm not feeling the most body positive, or days when I am feeling super body positive, and yes, I can share that online, but I still feel like, well, hold on, the days that I'm not, let me just share that too. So yeah, yes and no. I definitely have before, and I don't anymore.
Not so much.
Yeah,
that's good. And I feel like as women, we have a lot of like positive references online. Like, I've made a conscious effort to never follow anyone who like makes me feel bad about myself. But
amazing.
From your perspective, Raúl, I'm gonna interview you as well. Being a man, like, I don't know of any really like male body like, what's it like being a guy online and that pressure?
I think that from my perspective, having like an influencer that talks about the body positive movement is quite difficult, because every single man has like the perfect body, a perfect canon, and they share their abs, their chest, everything. And okay, it's what I want, but it's difficult to have it because our body is completely different, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And
definitely,
like boys, they want always to show their best about like a 10 out of 10 body. And I don't know any man that shares the movement of, okay, this is my body, you have to accept your body. It's okay to not be like Manu Rios, for example, or like Johnny Depp when he was
back in the day.
Yes. But because it's like a pressure that I don't know where it came from, but it's quite difficult.
And I think
don't know,
hard.
In your case, you have Rosie, and I've seen another girls that shares like the content. But it's true that you always do the same about your movement, but other girls just do the viral trend to express themselves like body positive, but then they do the pretty content.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
Yeah.
I really relate to what you're saying as well, because I feel that representation matters so much. So whether you are a 100% English girl and you are a size 8 and 10, if you're not seeing other girls that look like you, eventually you start to feel a little bit isolated in how you look, right? Whether you're a boy and you're a size like 24, or I don't know how men's sizes work, whatever, but like double XL. And I know Henry really relates to this. He doesn't often see a lot of representation for himself. And I think it's just the lack of representation, whether you've lost weight or gained weight, or you're in this middle ground, that really impacts you, because not seeing people that look like you every day, it's damaging.
And I do feel like as well online for men, the gym influencing
it's huge.
is like the main male influencer area.
Running, gymming.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and obviously these guys are the ones who are flipping built like a brick shit house.
That's and it's
too
unhealthy.
That's
yes, it is. It is.
Yes.
And I'm a victim.
To that.
I think, to that. And it's what I said. You won't see like a man not sharing his body if it's not normative. You won't. Because people on social media immediately go and attack him. Like, you will never know what is a girl and that kind of things.
I think
you have to be always on point to be like accepted.
I think men are a bit behind, honestly, than women.
I feel like
in that sense.
There's a lot of space for men in this
is.
area. And I do follow like a handful of body positive men who either Henry relates to and how they look, or they just have like a really beautiful message behind them and it's nothing to do with how they look like for why I follow them. And I feel like there is men starting to take up the space, but it is, coming secondary. And I mean, we can like dig into media back in the day, the Special K diet, everything that we were consuming as women, men were consuming the male version. And it was like David Beckham and his 8-pack.
Yeah.
These footballers running around, taking their tops off after scoring, having these huge calves, and just this like ideal body type that became so desired by men everywhere. And there was no contradiction to it. There was no, also, people look like this. And that lack of representation, like we were saying a second ago, like that really matters.
And I think that this lack of representation maybe comes because if a man takes care of himself, he immediately is related like a girl, because girls take care of herself more than men. So maybe if they start to share this movement and this action, other men will start like creating hate about what he does.
And his masculinity.
Yes, because the masculinity.
If you're
a
well
piece of shit,
groomed
yes.
or like whatever.
I don't know if you can get the point.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Like if you're well groomed,
understand.
or if like male makeup, or like people who
Yes.
wear concealer, like because they have eye bags, like okay.
Yeah.
But like then they'll immediately be attacked.
And women are more supportive in this space, I think.
And I think
In general,
women are
yeah.
really great at creating that space for other people, whatever your gender, and like welcoming them into it. But where that doesn't seem to happen, and that's not to say like all men are like this or whatever, but where it doesn't seem to happen and we're not exposed to men loudly creating space for themselves or for people that are different or want to do things a little bit personal and not necessarily super following this following this really big image. I feel that that it's just such like an empty space now, so people need to like fill it in. And if you're feeling, oh, I feel this way about myself, I'm not seeing representation, I don't see what I look like elsewhere, you start to see yourself as less normal, and you start to see the ideal as the standard, as the normal, and that's so damaging, because then your self-image becomes smaller and smaller as you like work towards becoming someone who you're naturally not, and that's so damaging. But if you think that there's space and there's a lack of representation in the space, then I always try to really encourage people who say this to be that representation and fill up that space yourself, because you would be able to help so many younger guys or even older guys to feel seen and to feel heard and to feel like, oh, do you know what, when I sit and I look like this, or when I stand and I look like this in a moment of insecurity, that's actually really, really fucking normal. You know?
I agree.
I agree too.
And on the part of like representation and things, obviously I know you've grown up obviously in Ireland.
Yes.
And your Indian heritage.
Yeah.
What is that
was
like?
tough. That was
Because
really tough.
Ireland is not the most diverse place
honey, no.
in
It's
the
not?
world.
England was like
No.
the biggest breath of fresh air.
London is like one of the most diverse and international cities in the world.
Yeah,
I think it's actually, I don't
100%.
know the stats, but I know that it is. I mean,
Probably
just from
one
living
of
there.
New York, London,
Yeah.
one of the,
And even like where I grew up, which is Surrey, which is outside of London, like that's still,
you have Surrey boys.
yeah, but it's
You
still,
have a type of male named after where you grew up.
but it is not that diverse. But like even going to school, like we had all sorts of ethnicities at school, at my year group and things. And when I have friends in Spain who say like there was no black people in my school.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's
You?
maybe in a room of 30 people, there was one.
Yeah. So like I can't imagine in Ireland it was that diverse. Like I've never been to Ireland, but from what I've seen and like understand of Ireland, my
Yeah.
flatmate's Irish, and like not much representation
Not at
for
all.
Asian
Ireland is
communities.
such a beautiful country, and the green grass is really green there because it rains all the time. It is such a stunning place to be, and it has such this like calmness in the countryside there that I've never experienced anywhere else. But I lived there from the ages 4 to 15, and living there literally as I grew from a baby into like a young adult or into a kid, it was so tough not being able to like. In Spain, one thing I've really noticed walking around Barcelona is that I feel like I belong here visually because everybody here has dark hair. Even growing up in England, it was a lot of light hair, right?
Yeah.
In Ireland, I wouldn't even see someone, even if they weren't like necessarily tanned or brown, I just wouldn't see people that look like me ever.
Yeah.
And I think yeah, I'm talking about representation being so important, but just to live somewhere where there are other people there of your heritage, of your culture, I think is also so important because of the, I'm trying to think of the word, but the exposure that it gives you from a young age. And it's honestly in the same conversation, I have the same opinion. The lack of representation with my body size and the lack of representation when it comes to my heritage and my culture made me feel like my Indian side was something that I almost needed to be ashamed of, that I needed to make smaller and I needed to hide. And I would try to become more white. I was trying to be more white. I was trying to be more Irish so that I would fit in and be more accepted, because kids are cruel.
Yeah, for sure.
First off, I was bullied a lot when I was growing up in Ireland. That was really tough. And it was a lot of racial abuse as well. And my brother experienced the same. And just feeling like that added layer of not being safe, that was really scary. And then moving to England became a breath of fresh air, because I saw a lot more diversity and I didn't feel unsafe. I didn't feel like I stuck out. But then I had this whole internal complex of, am I too white to hang out with the Indians, and am I too Indian to hang out with the white people? Your English is going to be hard today. My English is hard today.
I've heard that sentiment on so many podcasts that I've listened to
mixed race.
About being mixed race and like how you don't feel fully part of either side, to say it in one way, or not that it's sides, but of either group. How do you feel now you moved to Barcelona? Because you moved. How long have you been here? You've been here since
9 months.
Okay,
I feel great. But actually, before we talk about Barcelona, one thing I want to say about the lack of belonging, the lack of feeling of belonging within either culture, is that actually, now that I've grown up and I look back, that is so internalized, and there was nothing that anybody ever said or did. Maybe the odd microaggression here and there, like, oh, you're listening to like white music when I'm listening to the white music of Bhangra music, you know? I'm not listening to like the coolest thing. Other than those like little microaggressions, it was so internalized, and it was me that was actually not allowing myself, like stopping myself from just being like, no one actually cares.
But also you're young at this point.
Yeah,
you're very young,
you
so like reflecting on that, you can probably see it clearer now. Yeah,
100%. And I just hope if anybody's listening, and anybody who's particularly mixed race and has felt like I don't belong here and here, try your hardest just to like brush that off your shoulders and let go. Or even if you still feel that way, try to ignore that feeling and just unapologetically hang out with the people you want to hang out with, because the people that you want to hang out with don't care where you're from.
We don't shit.
It is internalized. And for me, like now, again, like perspective is everything and hindsight is everything, but leaning into my Indian culture a lot more and learning a bit more of the language and learning about the history, even my mum's background, just learning about that has been like such a huge eye-opener. And she's only one generation ahead of me, right? Yeah. So then learning about where you come from and your family roots for either side, from my dad's side, on his Irish side as well, has helped me to really like own my position, like stand on my own 2 feet, to be like, okay, I am mixed race, but like that doesn't mean anything other than it's so cool, I'm Indian Irish, like my mum and dad are from two different places and fell in love, you know? But yeah,
I love
anyways, back to Barcelona. I love it here. I do. I feel represented. I feel seen. I see a lot more curvy women here than I did in England. I see a lot more women with thick black hair, thin black hair, mustaches.
Yeah, that's the Hispanic thick hair that they're blessed with, that never falls out and never goes grey. Like, I genuinely, have you ever seen a grey middle-aged Spanish woman?
Not even an abuela, no.
I have never seen a grey middle-aged woman with Spanish
no.
Mum, love you. She's gonna be watching this, but
she's
like
grey.
they go like in the UK, like women go grey earlier, or maybe the Spanish are dyeing it. I don't think so though.
I don't know.
Your
because
mum's
my
not
mom
grey.
is not grey.
Yeah, at all.
She has like the canos.
Your grey hairs,
The
but like
grey hairs, but
not fully.
no. Maybe at the age of 60 in advance, not in the mid 40s. No.
Yeah, like
it's
they're
weird.
blessed with that.
Yeah.
Those
Maybe
genes.
it's men who starts getting gray hair
And
earlier
bald.
than women.
Oh my God,
But-
I've noticed this when going to the hospital, right? I've noticed all the men there sitting with their wives are grey.
Yeah.
All
The
have the
women
most
just
luscious
aged
hair.
so graciously.
So well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel
fully.
seen.
Good. But like I know when I first met you and things like that, you had some struggles when you did move to Barcelona. Like what was it like moving to a different country where you obviously don't speak the language and
Yeah.
you know, you came just with Henry and obviously you both work like from home like,
Yeah.
together. So like what was that like?
It was definitely hard. It had its moments, but I really do pride myself in, you know, when something's hard, like just take action and just get on with it. And I like to be someone that I don't like to sit in my struggles, you know? Yes, process and like think about what you're dealing with, and that probably would have done me some good if I'd done that a little bit more, but I'm quick to just like get up. And so I think the thing I was most nervous about was making friends, moving here and not speaking the language, and learning the language whilst we're being productive in doing that. I could be a lot faster, but also managing my ADHD. I know if I put this insane pressure on myself to know X amount in the first year and to do a like 5-month intensive course and do like 6 hours a day every day, I 100% guarantee I would just burn out and then shut off and switch off from learning Spanish the rest of my life, which is crazy. And I don't want that to happen. So I would rather, you know, get the piss taken out of me a little bit for the first couple of years and be a bit slower with learning if it means that I will commit to learning for the whole time that I live here, if not for the rest of my life, you know?
Poco a poco.
But I think that
Sí.
here in Spain, here in Spain and exactly in Barcelona, people used to think that if you don't learn Spanish, you are not trying to be integrated in the culture. But it's not about learning Spanish because you can listen to Spanish music.
Yeah.
You can get into the culture in
Into the
different ways, like food, going out, going
Meeting
to the
Spanish
cinema.
people.
Yes, meeting Spanish people, and that
And
kind
the
of
lifestyle. The lifestyle
Yeah,
is
lifestyle.
a huge thing of the culture in Spain,
and I think
right?
that kind of things really helps to
Yeah.
getting you into the Spanish culture. And then if you obviously speak Spanish, it's a plus.
Yeah.
But it's not about speaking Spanish because you can communicate yourself in another ways. Or you can even go to the supermarket and say hola instead of hello.
And
then
you always try. Like I've been out with you, and
Yes.
like you always like order your stuff in Spanish, and like that's all they can really ask for. Like they can't
Yeah, you
expect
have
you
to
to move
try.
here at the age of 29 and be like, boom, I speak Spanish in 2 months. Like if you're a kid, obviously you pick it up a lot quicker. But like
Yeah.
we're adults, like it takes time.
I love
like,
how kind you guys are being, but I also love that perspective so much of it. The culture isn't just the language, the culture is so many other things. And I think that is so important and such like a lovely way to look at it. I do feel that you have a responsibility to learn. At least try, like you say, at least try. But yeah, I'm going to take that home with me actually.
Yeah.
You know, the culture is more than just the
and
language.
they
I really
appreciate
like that.
the effort you're making. Like you go to
Yeah.
classes, like you're
No
doing
one's
the thing.
ever
like,
given me a hard time apart from maybe a couple of English friends taking the piss out of me because they're like, girl,
And do
you
they
need to learn
speak
more."
Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Warranted.
Well, no, not really. Like we've all been there. Like we've all been at the point where we haven't spoken. So like
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And
You
I-
all have to start somewhere, right?
And for me, when I was lucky in the fact that I studied it like in the lead up to moving here throughout university and things. So like I had a massive advantage when I did move here.
Yeah.
But you can't expect somebody to just be like
Yeah. Also, that's just your life. That's your journey. That's your
Yeah,
life. Like that's
exactly.
just what you ended up doing when you were in GCSEs. What you ended up doing.
Exactly.
The decisions that
you
you
can't
made.
expect everyone
It doesn't.
to
Yeah.
have the same pathway.
Exactly. And if we did, then everybody would be speaking Spanish all the time and
Exactly.
no one would be speaking English.
Exactly.
And do you feel that coming here to Spain, like, for example, if you go to Europe, everyone speaks English, like, very good.
Yeah.
But here in Spain, like, I think, and I say it, todo el mundo, no one speaks English as well as the Europeans. Do you feel this, like, a problem or something to hear out or no?
No, I don't, because if anything, it's more encouraging to just try, because I'm sitting at a restaurant trying to order in Spanish. I'm fumbling a little bit. The waiter is then trying their best to speak English and they're fumbling a little bit. It's like, oh, we're literally just on the same page here.
Yeah.
We're both just trying to speak another language, and we're both, you know, getting some right and getting some wrong. And I actually find it so much more encouraging to like be around more people who are just trying and making mistakes, because that encourages me to do the same, 100%. Right? And I've actually noticed, obviously, in France, it's very different compared to Spain. Like, you couldn't be more worlds apart if you even tried, Spain and France. But in Spain, I feel so much more relaxed and encouraged just to get it wrong and to have given it a go than not try at all. Whereas in France, I can say like 5 things. In
Paris, if you say croissant instead of croissant, then you're being chucked out the freaking door. Like, they hate it.
French people, mute this part.
Yeah. But it's true. Like, I have never had more dirty looks in my life than when I went to Paris.
That's true.
Yeah. They hate us so much. But I have like one more question. I think we're kind of like coming towards the end of the podcast. But I have a question about, you mentioned your ADHD and like how that's affecting your, well, not affecting, but like how you're adapting your Spanish learning to accommodate for that.
Yeah.
When did you get that diagnosis? Later in life, right?
Much later.
And
I was like 27.
27. And how do you think having the diagnosis has like changed the way you speak to yourself?
It's helped me a lot. I'm a lot kinder to myself now, a lot more patient with myself. I think before I would beat myself up a lot internally. Like, I'm quite a happy person, like positive person outwards, but inwards, I'm so bad for scrutinizing myself so much to the point where I would become so insanely depressed for like months at a time. And so with me, like, ADHD affects everybody very differently, but for me it is the anxiety and depression side of ADHD that I suffer from, and I don't see it as a superpower. I understand why people call it a superpower and it's quite empowering, but for me, my brain just works a little bit differently, and there are things that I can physically and mentally do to help my brain work in the way that I want it to. And I think being diagnosed at such a late age, at 27, like the average age for women is like 43 or 46 to be diagnosed, and for men it's 3.
What, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's such a lack of medical research done on anybody excluding white men, because even a Spanish man would be impacted by different medicines, and your blood is different, your body is different, everything is different, differently to a white man. So it's not even just about men and women, it's about everybody outside of the white man. And this isn't to hate the white man. I love my white man. And I love my daddy.
I love my white man.
My dad is a full Irish man. I love my daddy. So, you know. But what I was saying,
we all love our white men too.
I find that, because I got diagnosed so late in the game, I spent a lot of my early 20s really beating myself up, especially when I was at uni and I had such a lack of structure and routine, and it was just hell. Just everything was free flowing, but flowing in the wrong direction is a way I could put it. Whereas now that I have this awareness and understanding, I can really pause, sit with how I'm feeling, and either do nothing about it and just feel it, which is so important, or take action based on knowing that, okay, I work better when I have more structure. I work better when I have a smaller, more stress, a smaller time frame to do things. And I'm going to be late to a lot of things, but if anything, it just makes me more Spanish.
Yeah, you just fit right in. But how does, like, just out of curiosity for me to know this, being an influencer and like that you don't have structure, like that's your responsibility to like make sure you're delivering things on time to brands and like replying to your emails, and like, how does that, your ADHD, play into like that side
Honestly,
of things?
I've like struggled with it a lot with this job, and I became diagnosed like 3 years into doing the job as well. So I had the first 3 years of the job after leaving my old job, where I had that stability, and becoming someone with complete free time and just free movement, just do what I want when I want, and hopefully I'll make some money and hopefully I'll have a good time, and hopefully I'll be able to connect with my audience in doing so. After being diagnosed, I went on this bit of a roller coaster of, oh my God, I'm diagnosed. I feel so relieved. I'm so glad that I know. I'm so glad I have this clarity and this self-validation. It really helped with my confidence in that sense. to then coming down the roller coaster and going into a bit of a dip of, this is so overwhelming and I'm so frustrated. Why is everything just that little bit harder? To then coming back up into like this middle safe space where I would say I'm at now, and day to day, you know, it can go up, it can go down, but I feel I try to adapt my routine around what I know is gonna be realistic, what I know is gonna work for me. So me saying, yeah, I'm going to be at your house at 9 a.m. to film the podcast is never going to happen.
Yeah. It's 12. Just so you'll know, we met at 12. We did not make her come here at 9 against her will.
And even little things like, if a brand wants to have a call, I'll do calls between 12 and 3 because I know that's my time of I'm warmed up for the day. I'm in work mode, but I'm not filming because I like to film in the afternoon because I like to have been warmed up for like 5 hours and then I'm like really
you have a bit of a slower start to the day.
Yeah, I'm definitely a slow start person, and I'm such a night owl, and I've learned that actually working at night, even though I'm a night owl, isn't the best thing to do because it affects my sleep so much to the point where the next day doesn't just become a slow morning, it becomes like there's a thing called ADHD paralysis, and I would just suffer from day in, day out ADHD paralysis of just like lying in bed and not doing anything because I'm so overwhelmed by my to-do list, even to the point where like getting up to brush my teeth was hard. And I really struggled with that for a really long time being in this job, but I have such a love for the girlies and the guys and the gays and everybody just to do what I gotta do and just to, you know, enjoy connecting with everyone, that I wanted to stick it out and find a way. And I feel like, yeah, I've got my balance. I couldn't say ABC, this is my balance, because it changes every day. But I feel like I've found my balance, and a lot of the balance is found through just being a bit more patient and a bit kinder to myself.
Love it.
And I have a question, like, do you feel the pressure on creating content that you have to be always on the trend?
No, not anymore. I feel like yes, and when you begin 100% you feel this pressure, and I felt this pressure for a little bit, but I think I've come out the other side now where I have this understanding that if I continue to work towards and to appease this pressure that I'm feeling, because you still inevitably will feel it in some sense at some times, if I could keep working to appease this pressure, then I'm going to burn out. And then instead of being, you might be on trend for 3 months, you're off trend for 6 months. You're asleep, you're resting, you're burnt out.
You're nothing.
Totally
and it's not
in bed.
So now I feel, okay, if I see a trend and I really like that trend and I want to do it, I'll do it. And if I see trends and I'm like, oh, I really need to get a video out there and I really need it to do well and I really want the girls to see it, or, like whatever the reason, but I'm not feeling it, it's in those moments that I'm like, just don't do it. Just chill.
Trends come and go.
And also,
and they're always changing it.
I think that comes as well with having already an established audience. Like, you're very well established, girl. Like, you have a lot of followers. Like, you don't need to be on trend. People know you for you and what content you produce and you like producing, and they like that. So, like, you don't have to feel that pressure anymore. I feel like you kind of know yourself. Your audience knows you. They trust you. Like, you have that kind of reputation, let's say.
I disagree. I agree and I disagree.
Okay.
I am not as established as it might like seem like I am, or that I would want myself to be in this job. I feel that the way we treat social media, being people who like produce on social media, who create and share content on social media, for me, and I don't want to speak for you guys, but is worlds different to how people just consume social media if someone's never made a video in their life to post on social media. And I feel my audience is always changing. The girls that followed me when I first started, there's probably a handful of them left still following me, or a handful of them who are still engaged and love the content. But I think my audience, and maybe this is a little bit why I don't feel the pressure with the trends as much anymore, is because I know it's just going to hit someone different almost every time. Yeah. And you might have the same 150 people that it does hit, and there's 3 people out of that 150 who always comment. So it seems like your engagement is the same, you're engaging with the same people, but from looking at the analytics and from just like in my DMs, knowing who I'm messaging, who I'm not messaging, who I'm connecting with, I feel like my audience is forever changing, and it's something that I'm so fine with. But I can't take for granted that I'm established, because I just don't think that I am established in the way that a lot of really big influencers are, and they have their core audience, and they've had that core audience since the start, and they've grown with them. I actually think my page is a little bit different. I think, I don't think I fall into that category.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Also,
Yes.
it seems like you know a lot about your audience. Like, girl, I had no
love
idea.
them.
Because do you feel that
my
that you are
community.
established, Anna? It's the same.
It depends what you mean by the word established. I would say that, like, I feel like I know what I post, and like people who follow me know what I'm posting. But again, like, I'm changing as well with like what I like posting, and
Same.
you know, things are kind of moving along. So yeah, I guess it's the same as you. Like, things are always
Yeah.
changing, and people will come and go, and then
Also, there's probably people that really resonated with you when you started posting, and you were posting, even though what you post about now is still similar in a theme, but you could be sharing a different side of your life that's very different.
Yeah.
Like, now you go out for really cute, cool dinners around
Yeah.
Barcelona. There could be some people that see that and they're like, I just don't relate to that because I eat it
Yeah.
every day. But you're never gonna consistently relate
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
people
yeah.
that you want.
That's true.
You know, and I think
and
it's
things
really
change in
nice.
like your personal life when you're doing it. Like, I have a different job than I had when I started. I now have a boyfriend, didn't have one before. Like, so many things have changed, and like, obviously your content is a reflection of you as a person, so
Yeah.
like, it makes sense that things change. So that's a good perspective that
I
I
have a
didn't
question
have.
for you, actually.
Oh, okay.
Do you feel that when you create your content, do you feel that your personality shines through it? Do you feel like it showcases who you are?
I think that is probably like my biggest strength on social media. Like, if I ever meet people in real life, like, they always say like, oh, you're exactly the same as you
Yeah.
are online, and like, hopefully you saw that as well.
Oh,
like,
100%,
from seeing me on videos, I literally filmed them sitting on the sofa there, or like in my room, just like put the phone on against my water bottle, and like genuinely, it's so unprofessional, but it's just me being myself, and like sharing thoughts or like things I've learned that I think will be useful. And so I do think so. I think it does. I mean, I don't show like that many personal sides of me, like in terms of like, I don't do like day in the life, or like I don't show too much about like my day to day, but I think like my personality still does come through. One thing is that everyone always thinks I'm older than I am.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
The other day I was at a bar, and this man came over, and
Did he follow you on
he was in
Instagram?
his 50s.
Oh my god, he was a fan.
And he was Catalan. He was like, oh, you're Anna. And I was like, yes.
That would've
And
creeped me
we were
out.
talking for like, I don't know how long, like literally an hour and a half. Like, we ended up, he bought us a drink. Like, he was super nice.
Oh.
Just talking about like Catalan, and like having really like interesting conversations about
In
language.
Spanish, right?
In Spanish, Catalan.
Span English?
Spanalan.
Spanalan.
Yeah. Because Olivia was there, my friend
claro.
who speaks Catalan. So we were kind of all just like mixing and whatever. And he was like, how old are you? And I was like, how old do you think I am? And he was like 32. And I was like,
32.
Wow.
just to set the record straight, guys, I'm 24.
You got 8 years on you.
But everyone I meet, like all the girls at the events as well, also are always surprised
You're
when I say I'm
very
24.
mature
Yep.
and organized and punctual. Yeah.
I'm very punctual.
I feel
that's
like
true.
you're type A, right?
Yeah.
Super type A. And I think when you're type A, that's normally associated with just being more mature. and
Yeah,
being
I'm just like, I'm
older.
fine with people think I'm older as long as it doesn't like keep going up, like as I do
Yeah.
actually get older. Like, imagine when
You are
I'm
like Walt Disney.
Yeah.
You're frozen.
I'm frozen. I'm
Right.
gonna be frozen in time.
Maybe
like-
you'll get to 32 and no
And
one will ever think you're a day of 32.
I
for the rest of your
hope that
life.
is what's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna reach 32 and I'm never gonna look
Maybe
any
the man
older.
was pulling your leg. Like, you are 32.
No,
like,
he
flirting
wasn't.
with you.
He
or
was not. By the way, good use of pulling my leg. That was so like native of you.
that was a good
I'm native.
phrase. What about you, Raúl? Do you feel like you on social media can just like show up as yourself, or do you feel like pressures?
On social media, in my case, I feel the pressure of being into the standards because it's something that I do work on with me. But my content is quite simple. It's like lifestyle,
Yeah.
street style, and trips. But I think that people really want to expect you something from you, and that's like the big issue in a small community that I can have because I only have like nearly 3,000 followers. But I think I don't share as I am, because I only do the podcast, and it's where I express myself as I am, or I share my thoughts, because I think that if I do this in my main account, could be like different, because I will have the pressure of fit into what they think about me, because they don't know me as
Okay.
your followers can know you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as they get to know
Yes.
you, it's different.
I do think the podcast has changed the game for both of us a little bit.
Yes.
Ooh,
Because like
juicy.
neither of us really do like videos on social media like where we express
Make vlog
who we are,
styles
like
and-
things about our actual real lives. Like
Yeah.
I've spoken on this podcast about like all of my ex relationships, like all of my traumas,
Juicy.
like
Yes.
everything.
I
And
love
then
a
like
good trauma dump podcast.
so
It's
I
my
actually
favourite to
feel
listen
like
to.
I feel
Tell me your
very
problem.
like connected to our listeners specifically because I feel
True.
like they know so much about us.
Yeah.
It's like
It's at another level.
from now a small community, but we express and we share like a lot of things that
Yeah.
maybe in our main accounts, or as I said, we don't used to.
Well,
Yeah.
even honestly, like even with my friends, like obviously my friends know a lot about me and like everything, but like weekly, I'm not telling them about like
the
True.
updates weekly. Whereas like you guys
Yeah.
listen to us every week, like
And for example, in my case, with my family, I have no problems. I love them so much, but having like that kind of conversation, it really depends on how I'm feeling in that moment, and I'm not get used to share some thoughts or comments, because I don't know why.
but also you don't live together. Like they
No.
live in a different part. Like
Yeah, and with the podcast or talking with my friends, it's really different. Like the
Yeah.
perspective you have with your family of sharing your stuff, and compare with how you share it with other community. For
yeah.
us.
And I think for us, the podcast as well, like now we're starting to bring guests and it's super exciting. And like the people we're bringing are people we already know and like
Yeah.
feel comfortable around, because when it's just me and you, like it just feels, because it's just a phone.
You're
on a
just
tripod.
chatting.
Like
yeah.
it's just like we're having a conversation with each other, and like that's when we are like the most ourselves. So
Yeah.
like I think that comes across
And
as well.
it's true. It's not now about you and me. It's about Rosie,
Yeah.
for example. That's why you are here.
And we're so happy you came.
Yes.
You
Oh,
shared
me
your
too.
story.
It's been so nice.
You are so intelligent.
Oh,
Like the way you speak.
inteligente.
You are inteligente,
Inteligente.
guapísima, simpática,
muchas
Amable,
gracias.
humilde.
humilde, sí, también.
Aw.
So we are so happy you came. Do you have any final questions for
No.
Rosie? It was a great conversation.
Yes.
I feel like we had like a mini therapy.
No, I love it. This is my favorite thing about going on podcasts. I haven't been on a podcast in like 2 years. And I remember when I was going on podcasts back when I was living near London, like sometimes weekly for like a couple months straight. And it was just the nicest. I was having free therapy,
It
letting
feels like
everything
therapy.
out, like shit talking Slimming World and that kind of stuff. And it was just great. And I loved it.
I love it. And I'm glad you chose us for your
Yes.
first.
Thank
Oh,
you so
Your,
much.
Oh, they chose
return,
me.
your return to podcasting.
I'm like dusting off literally wiping off the dust off my shoulders. I'm like in a little Barcelona hole at the moment of just
You did amazing.
in my space
girl.
in Barcelona. I love it.
We're so happy you shared everything with us.
No.
And
And here you have
we
your community too. For
exactly.
everything you want.
And
Yeah.
we always like
Thank
to let. Well, I say always. We've had one other guest. But
Yeah, to let
we're
our
gonna-
mics.
We're gonna
Oh,
make
yes.
it a thing, and we are gonna leave our mics on the table, and we let you sign out the podcast.
Oh God.
As if
Yes.
it was your own, so you can say obviously like follow, like on Instagram, say your handles,
And if you have like last message for
for the people,
the people,
For the gang.
and
feel
we'll
free.
we'll leave you our podcast with
so
Vale.
thanks for
in
coming.
capable hands. Okay,
And
bye
it's
guys.
now Rosie's podcast.
Oh my goodness. Hello. Hola. ¿Qué tal? Muchas gracias. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. It was so nice. You can find me on Instagram, Rosie Ridgers, XX Kiss Kiss. And that's it. See you next week. Well, they will, not me. Ciao.
Becoming Niguiri, becoming Niguiri, oh see.